Hello everybody, my name is Happy and I'd like to welcome you to my history reaction channel. Well, today I thought we'd try something a little different. We're going to take a listen to and look at epic rap battles of history. Now, the particular rap battle I decided to take a look at is Alexander the Great versus Ivan the Terrible. I think this will be fun. I think it'll be a little bit different. I will let things play out a bit, then I'll try to comment on anything that I might know about this. I know a decent amount about both of these guys. I actually know more about Ivan than I do about Alexander. I will try to catch as many references as I can and comment on them. Be aware that I do suffer lifelong hearing loss, and rap can sometimes be hard for me to follow. It can be hard for anybody to follow, but it's harder for me. So I will do my very best to try to keep up with what they're saying and pause it periodically and comment on some of the history. But I think we're going to have some fun with this. I just felt like doing something light today. It's been a long, rough week, and I've been filming a lot of fairly heavy, for me at least, videos. So let's try something a little different. As always, I will include a link to the original video in the description down below. If you like what you see here, I highly encourage you to head over to Epic Rap Battles and let them know that you love their video and that you'd like to see more. Alright, with that said, let's get into this. Alright.
Ivan the Terrible!
Alright.
Alive, into the Kremlin's arriving. Try to survive and no surviving. You're a land rule, I'm a land expand. You're the hand of your first law.
Alright. So, great. They've got subtitles. That's perfect for me. So, Ivan the Great, in Russian it would be Ivan Grozny, which is, Grozny does not translate to the terrible. Not even really close. I discussed this a little more in some of my history of Russian videos, but a quick summary. Grozny is more of a, I want to say a positive term. It is the embodiment of all the classic masculine traits: strong, protective, a real man, a real husband, a real father. It is more like awe-inspiring. It's somebody who's extremely strong, but also it has this connotation of being strong in a good way, being ruthless, or stern might be a better word. Stern, but in a positive connotation. Awe-inspiring would be a much better translation. Anyway, I don't want to get too much into that, but that is what Grozny means. It's not the terrible. He says he is an expander. That is true. He is one of the first, well, he is the first actual Russian Tsar, and ironically, one of the last of the Rurik line. Other people, especially his grandfather, had used the term Tsar before, but none of them were ever crowned Tsar. That was something that was, Ivan was the very first one to be crowned as a Tsar. And yeah, he was an expander. It's during his reign that you have some of the earliest exploration to Siberia going on, for example. His grandfather was probably more of an expander, though. His grandfather is the one that united the southern region of what we think of as the Russian Empire with the last holdout of what we would tend to think of the Russian Empire, which was the Republic of Novgorod. So, let's go.
Like Aristotle, smack your heart.
Let me back that up.
Land expand, you're the hand of your first law. Alexander, you like Aristotle, smack your heart and then you hit that bottle. You're nothing but an overrated lifestyle question. I'm the first Tsar of all of Russia.
Yeah, so he is the first Tsar. Or the first crowned Tsar. Alexander, he, what did he say? He said something about Alexander that was accurate. Oh, he'll be schooled by Aristotle. That is true. Alexander was a student of Aristotle's. So, good opening for Ivan. He's got a good opening. Let's see where it goes from here.
You're an asshole with an anastoli. I'm heaven sent, divine and holy. So don't even try to approach the god, or you'll get a huge shock like Novgorod.
Hey fella, swell diss, but now you got the Panhellenist from Pelahellapis stepping up.
Ooh, I love that. Yeah. So the land conquered by Alexander the Great ushers in what's called the Hellenistic period. Pan-Hellenist is all of the Hellenistic territories. And yeah, he was from Pella, so Pella Hella Pissed works out quite well. That was brilliant. Great opening, Alexander. Yeah, let's see where this goes.
Foolish as well as useless, little Vassilievich. Let me spell out the list. I brought foes to their knees in Phoenicia, breezed through Gaza to Giza, had the Balkans, Persia, Syria, Iraq, and Pakistan in my expansion pack. While you died in the middle of a game of chess, you got vodka bars, flavorless, and what I'm about to spit will be the craziest. So go fix me a drink so I can stay refreshed.
Yeah, so Ivan the Terrible did die while playing chess. That is accurate.
Reach for the glory I got from winning every single war that I fought. So this
That's also true. He didn't lose any major battles.
will be straightforward. I'll take up this sword that I brought and slice you in half like the Gordian Knot. And I'll soar to the top like the eagle whose feather I was sported, and the helmet that I wore as I swatted my many enemies, shattered them like a porcelain pot, and they'd be praying for the torture to stop. But I would leave them contorted and they would howl Bucephalus. Hot from a Horsian draw. Win him in a
I can't believe they worked Bucephalus into that. Bucephalus is Alexander's the Great's horse. The Gordian Knot, if you're not familiar with that, that is probably an apocryphal tale, but it is part of the myth and legend of Alexander the Great. So the Gordian Knot, supposedly a knot that cannot be untied. Of course, Alexander just walks up and cuts it. And there's a moral to that story somewhere. I never quite got it. To me, that sounds like lazy thinking. I would have figured out how to unravel it. That's just, or I would have died trying. Probably the latter, but great shot here, by the way. Ivan standing basically in Krasnaya Poshet, Red Square. That's St. Basil's Cathedral back there, which he built. Or he didn't build it himself. He had it built. It dates back to his reign.
I don't stand a chance against your skill. Nostrovia, a drink to your victory.
Yes, I will. It seems no one can defeat me. I weep. It's all so easy.
Ooh, what's wrong?
I feel a bit queasy.
You were poisoned.
Oh, the pain is unbearable. My stomach's riddled with holes.
I'm terrible.
Great play. Great play, Ivan. Especially like that. Oh, I'm terrible. Alexander the Great, no one knows for sure how or why he died. He died young. There were allegations, yes, that he was poisoned. There are certain diseases that may have led to his death. There are even more modern theories that he may not have been dead at all. He may have had a condition that left him paralyzed, unable to move or react, and he was buried alive. I tend to not buy into that one, but I talked about that in one of our other videos. I don't remember which one, unfortunately, or I put a link in the description so you can take a look at that. But Alexander the Great's death is interesting because you see his empire collapse afterwards. He didn't really leave a clear plan on how it to be divided or who was to take charge when he died, so he ended up being split up among some of his key aides. Ivan the Terrible, he dies, only one of his sons outlives him. That son is feeble and not very bright, and he doesn't live long, and then the Rurik dynasty comes to end with Theodore, who is Ivan's son. So, yeah. So Ivan wins this round, at least in terms of killing off Alexander. I'll leave it to you guys to decide who raps better. But we're not all the way through this video, so we got something else coming up. Oh, I should add that Ivan brings out that he is divine and holy. That is somewhat accurate. The Tsars of Russia, especially during this period, were very much considered to be divinely chosen, invested with the divine right to rule, so to speak. But to be fair, Alexander the Great also kind of considered himself to be a deity. So, and he was certainly deified by some of his followers in terms of how they viewed him. So I think that actually equally applies to both of them in this case.
There's no great who could defeat this Russian.
Uh-oh.
What about a flute?
Oh, boy, yes!
Frederick,
yeah.
Pompey the Great, out the gate, first serving the state.
attack, tactics ain't exactly straight. I've got creative talents and battle malice. Hard to steal on the field, genteel in the past. Punches fucked up, I don't wonder why. With your tenders and tigers and bears, oh my. Hey guys. I'd tear out my eyes if I had a look at your trophies every night. Now bring me my chair. I'm weary from tearing you a new derriere from here to Red Square. Fought a 7 years war. I ain't scared of a czar. Cause beating you only took me 12 hours.
Of a humiliating defeat. I know when I am beat. So of course, take a seat.
I'd keep ripping you to shreds, but I'll take a break instead and just rest my little head.
What?
That was fun. He came in strong. I really enjoyed his appearance. Yeah, he died sitting in a chair.
You're the dead friend! My expectations were a lot higher. But at least I saved the rubles on the garrote wire. It's another great day and another great victory. Cause no great can beat me.
What about me, Pompey?
All right. So this is actually going to be Ivan versus the Great. Great. Oh no, I can see who's in the background already. That's got to be Catherine. Ivan's in trouble. Yeah, Pompey the Great, the triumvirate, is defeated, and he is actually has his head removed and delivered to Caesar, who is actually pissed by this. I don't remember all the details. I should know it. I've mentioned it before. I took 3 years of Latin, and as part of that class, you had to get deep into Roman history and culture. But that was when I was 16 to 18, which I hate to say was a very long time ago. But Pompey, I should say Pompey, excuse me. My Latin teacher would probably be very mad at me. Pompey is, he's in Egypt. They actually capture him, and they want to impress Caesar, so they give him his head. Caesar is not impressed because even though he wanted Pompey brought down, he did not feel like these people had a right to kill a great Roman leader. So it doesn't go over well. Catherine the Great, for sure.
Prussians and Romans, those unworthy opponents.
Now, wait a minute. She is Prussian, technically.
It takes a Russian to take down a Russian. I'm a cat, you're a rodent.
So that's not entirely accurate. She's a Prussian, not a Russian. Now, she does become the Tsarina of Russia, but that's because she marries into the Romanov family.
How the hell I stay when the state of your head was such a crazy one? There's such sick shit going through your brain that you sent this spike through your own son.
He did not stick a spike to his own son. Story varies depending on who you're reading. It's not entirely clear what happened, but Ivan the Terrible did kill his son in a fit of rage. If I remember correctly, he was angry. Something about his son's wife upset him. He was confronting his son about it. They got into a heated argument, and Ivan attacked his son with his staff. His scepter, I guess I should say, ends up killing him. It is not a premeditated, cold-blooded murder. It is an act of passion. If you've ever seen that very famous painting of Ivan the Terrible cradling the body of his son, clearly in anguish, I think that is a pretty accurate representation of what actually went down. He did not intend to kill his son. He just lost control. That's not excusing him, but there is a difference between a crime of passion, which that was, and a premeditated murder. And so many people tend to portray it as a premeditated, cold, calculated murder. It was not. Anyway, continuing.
You're on balance like I on balance. The European powers with the wars I wage. The Russian Empire straight out the olden days and right into the golden age. I'm your boss, bitch. Say you just can't meddle with this. Whole battle's like Alaska, cause I settled it.
What a beautiful queen to beat me in the battle. Accept this gift, your highness, I hear you. Enjoy the saddle.
I can't believe he went there. So yeah, there's a myth that Catherine the Great was killed by her horse while performing a certain act with said horse. One that I really don't want to say in public on YouTube. That didn't actually happen, but makes for a great story. Trying to think what else she said here. She mentioned that she brings Russia, catches them up with the modern age. That's partially true. Peter the Great starts that process. He jumpstarts Russia quite a bit. He traveled around Europe extensively, learned a lot directly from the Europeans. He brings a lot of that back. He brings a lot of reforms with him, trying to modernize Russia. When he dies, his successors, a lot of them kind of push things back. There's a kind of a mixture of less than competent czars and czarinas, as well as some that are just straight out old-fashioned conservatives who want to undo everything Peter did. And then Catherine comes and she brings back that whole progressive movement of introducing Enlightenment principles to Russia, to Russia. And I mean, she's writing back and forth with Voltaire. She's really big, at least initially, on the Enlightenment and on moving things forward. A little later, she kind of puts the brakes on it and becomes more conservative, probably because she sees monarchies being threatened. And even though she does believe in modernizing and progress and some of the Enlightenment, she also very firmly believes in the monarchy and authoritarianism. So she kind of had to put on the brakes there.
That whole story is a pile of shit. Though I do keep on jumping at the bit. But you're never gonna get it yet. Couldn't spin in my chamber if there's a Russian roulette. I'm picking up where Peter the Great left off. Bring sexy back to House Romanov.
Right.
Don't call me queen, I'm far more great. Empress Tsar, hey bitch, checkmate. Hey, yeah.
Checkmate, that's a reference again to the death of Ivan the Terrible playing chess. Who do you guys think won? That's a tough one. Who won? I had the most fun with the very short Frederick the Great. His just made me laugh. I thoroughly enjoyed that. I think Ivan scored a lot of good points against some of his enemies. Not really sure. Alexander came on strong. He had some good points too. Catherine, I'm not so sure about. She certainly had the two down pat, but I don't know. I'm not really sure who I think won. I'm leaning towards Ivan, but I think I could be persuaded with just about any of them other than Pompey the Great, for obvious reasons. He never got a chance to really say much. Frederick just made me laugh. I really enjoyed Frederick. He was the most fun, at least for me. I'm not sure how many points he scored, but I was certainly the most entertained with him. Anyway, thank you for joining me. Like I said, this is just something a little different, just for fun. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. I'd love to hear who you guys think won, or if there's any other references mixed in there that I missed. I know there were, because there were several times where I was like, I need to remember this and come back to it when I pause. And in some cases, once I paused, I was like, there was something, but now I don't remember what it was. I didn't want to go back or sit here going, for 10 minutes. So I'm sure there's stuff I missed or things that I saw, tried to remember for later and lost them. So thank you for joining me. See y'all next time. Bye-bye.